Feast for the Soul anytime, anywhere. We still have all of our meditations. They'll always be available live. Well, they were actually recorded live, and you can listen to them as they were recorded on our YouTube channel. Some of you know where to find us, feastforthesoul.org. Feastforthesoul.org. So today's program is going to be a little different. My name is Sarah McLean, and I am just really honored and blessed to be here with you. And thank you for joining us all today. Yes, you are muted, and yes, it will be difficult to unmute, but I will invite you to put yourself, your information in the chat, where you're sitting, where you're from, and connect in that way today. So we've been planning this day for a little bit to make sure that we do the feast and your practice and our collective intention for more peace on this planet justice. And I'd like to start by sharing the impetus for this feast. As some of you remember, let me see if I can pull this up here. We started the Feast for the Soul 14 years ago. 14 years ago when Valerie Scone, a Sufi practitioner, read a poem by Rumi. Now, some of you know this poem. I've shared it a few times during the feast, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm pulling it up. It's on our website, feastforthesoul.org. And Rumi is a 13th century Persian mystic who wrote, probably in a different language, "A new moon teaches gradualness and deliberation, and how one gives birth to oneself slowly. Patience with small details makes perfect a large work, like the universe. What 9 months of attention does for an embryo, 40 early mornings alone will do for your gradually growing awareness." This Rumi poem was the foundational inspiration for the feast in terms of what Valeria had envisioned. And though she's no longer actively part of the feast, she really has inspired me to keep it going. And 40 early mornings, whether they're the way you wake up first thing, or the way you consider your day, or the way you move through your day with practice and prayer, or whether you join us at 5 p.m. in Nottingham or 9 a.m. in California, this is what can create this deliberate, perfect work, like your spiritual awakening, like the universe. So welcome. Thank you for being here. First, I want to thank the women who have made this possible. Valerie, of course, our many faculty and teachers who have been part of the feast in years gone by and that are still available for you, the men and the women that have shared their work so generously. And no one takes payment to be a leader guiding these meditations at all. Also, I want to thank Sue Cooper, whose moments of mass mindfulness, her dedication to that, and her support kept this feast going this year. Because without her, I don't know if I personally would have had the impetus to do it alone. And that's one of the things I've learned about the feast, is we don't have to do anything alone. So thank you, Sue. Thank you for being so caring and offering those self-care Saturdays and bringing us all together, because you invited so many of the beautiful teachers that have been here with us. I also want to thank Ashley. Ashley has been working by my side since I met her in Austin, Texas years ago. We were actually sitting in a place called the Peace Box. It was a repurposed shipping container that turned into a meditation studio, and she was doing the promotion for that, and we got to meet, and I thought, who is this bright light? So Ashley has been supporting all of us behind the scenes with posting these live streams and uploading our YouTube page, creating the feast website. And thank you, Ashley, for your presence and your bright spirit and all of your talent. And my friend and teacher and student and colleague, Suzi von Mensenkampff, who is in Cork County, Cork, Ireland, who is the alchemist that you listened to yesterday, and really is supportive in so many ways as we all support each other to awaken. We were talking earlier this morning, I think it was 4 o'clock, I called her, she says, what time is it there? The middle of the night. Yes, it's 4 o'clock, that is sort of the middle of the night. And I said, sometimes we have to remind each other of what we already know. Sometimes we have to remind each other of the perfection of this unfolding universe and how we have to meet our own minds and hearts moment by moment by moment. So thank you, Suzi and Sue and Ashley and all of our teachers and all of you who have made your spiritual practice paramount, whether it's been going on for years or whether you've just done it. I think it's the most important thing. And I know it will help to create more peace on this planet, which I want to live on a peaceful planet, don't you? So I want to invite Sue Cooper and Ashley and Sue to talk a little bit about what this feast has meant for them. And as they do that, you're also welcome to consider what this feast has meant to you. Maybe you've missed a few days, maybe you just joined us today, maybe you've been doing it for a long time, but whatever the case may be, answering that question, what does this feast mean to me? We'd love to hear. And I think your soul would love to hear it too. So Sue, would you like to share?
Oh, thank you. Sarah, you are just the most amazing soul and spirit that not only have you guided this through with absolute grace and ease, but I should imagine it's not an easy process as we know, but we're knowing that what we've been witnessing and being co-creating with you and collaborating, you've been the goddess. And I see the G of God as generator, the O as organizer, and the D as deliverer. And organizing and delivering and making something like this so beautiful happens. The feminine archetype of bringing the word soul very much forward, bringing the spirituality forward, and within mindfulness. That has not been something that has really been embraced, I do believe. It's become more the psychology, but it's the wholeness of it all, which is what the feast has brought forward. So for me, and being with Suzi and being with Ashley and being with everybody here, we have co-created something that is probably beyond words, I would suggest, but we've created a feeling, we've created an essence. And that co-created essence is one that is beauty, and at the heart of it is love, and an expression of love is compassion. And I see this care. You said on that Mom movie, Sarah, it's not enough to care, we have to take action. And that to me has been my benchmark. And since you've said those words, and this is love in action, I do believe. So I want to give gratitude to absolutely everybody, because if you hadn't all been here, it would have been very lonely. So moving forward, Mom will continue, and we're going to be co-creating momentum. Momentum is putting energy around something specifically, and the intention is putting energy around individual awakening and collective action, co-creating compassionate communities. So I'm going to put a link up to the website starting on the 1st of March at the same time, 5 o'clock. We will gather for anybody who wants to be here. All are welcome, and we'll alchemize the momentum and moving into Mom in the British Isles, and for everybody as well, on the 14th of March. So thank you so much for everything. It's been a blast.
Thank you, Sue. So Suzi, would you like to share?
I'd be delighted to share. Thank you so much, Sue and Sarah, for what you've said already. This is an amazing container, and I feel just really lucky to be, one hand in this pot, and or maybe it's one heart, one heart in the container that we created here over the last 40 days. what did I get from the feast? I got a lot from this feast personally. It's really been an incredible journey for me personally, as well as a teacher here. To witness the growing community has been phenomenal, moving from our alone together and then merging with the feast and merging with mom and really coming into this other kind of, as Sue would say, coherence. I'm really grateful. I see the 5 elements between us. I see how we have had, you know, Katha in our amazing Ashley. She's our structure of our team, you know. She's the earth and the water, the stamina. She shows up every single day. And she gets us on these recordings and streaming them. And it's amazing because, you know, there's a role for everybody. And this is what I've noticed. And then we have our air and space element. We have our beautiful fragile flower. Well, she's not that fragile, Sue Cooper. I see you as that Vata air and space element, who really has a vision, you know, and you're so committed to that vision, and you would really inspire that in me. And then, you know, in every great team, you have to have the fire in the belly, and the director, and the one that just gets it done and sees it to the end. And that, for me, is you, Sarah, because you have just had the idea, you've just moved through it, and you know, there might have been ups and downs along the way, but you know, we just kept burning through anyway, and we've arrived at this point, and it's really, really been quite the journey, you know. And I think I've really just taken away from it that we have, you know, we have a community and we have a self-care practice, and when we bring the community and the self-care practices together, transformation truly happens. So thank you so much from my side of the water.
Wow, thank you, Susie. So Ashley, what is the feast? Oh, Susie, before we do, did you want to share what you've got coming up? I know you were going to mention it, or do you want to put a link in the
I'll just do it really quickly. You know, if you do want to connect with me on a deeper level, I'm doing the personal mantra practice. It's a 4-week program starting on the 27th of February. And then I'm starting the 6 weeks to perfect health, which is the Ayurveda program. And it's starting on March 3rd. But I'll put a link in the chat and you can take that away and have a look at it yourself in your own time. But I'd love to definitely spend more time with some of these guys, for sure. Thanks for that, Sarah.
Thank you, Susie. And Susie failed to mention that she's tridoshic, which means she's the perfect balance of Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. So that's interesting too. For those of you who follow Ayurveda, the ancient art of healing from India. So Ashley, would you like to share what the feast has meant to you?
Absolutely. Gosh, what a treat, a pleasure, an honor. I just can't thank you enough, Sarah. You know, you meet people in your life along your path and you think, wow, that person is in someone who inspires me. Why am I introduced to this person? And as the years have gone by, Sarah has meant so much more to me as someone who's really been able to guide light to me in my life and been able to introduce me to other lights such as Sue and Susie. And I honestly could not be more grateful for not only Sarah, but this practice at a very cumbersome time in my life as a young mom, and with all of the unbelievable situations we're all facing in the world. There's really been nothing more grounding than the Feast for the Soul. To be able to commit myself to 40 days of practice, you know, yes, I'm working behind the scenes, but I'm still enjoying the meditation. I'm still listening in, and I've discovered new sides of myself I didn't know were there, such as the ability to slow down, the constant reminder of the importance of self-care. At this point, if I don't get it now, I don't think I'm ever going to get it. I think this has been the year of reckoning for myself to completely learn the importance of self-care. And I think it's just really been an incredible journey. I look forward to continuing this journey, and I really could not be more grateful to you, Sarah, for being in my life, and bringing this not only to me but to everyone. And then thank you all for everyone who also showed up. We had a pretty committed 100+ group almost every single day. That's really powerful. You know, Sue kept saying co-creating communities, creating compassion. You know, it's one thing to hear the words, and then it's quite another to experience them in action and to see the group come together every day and bring that energy through my computer screen. It really took something that I honestly didn't know could exist and brought it to life. So to have the energy from everyone from around the world literally coming together to learn in this space and having that energy resonate from the computer has just been really transformative and really special. And I want us to continue this. I want us to grow in it. I want more people to understand the power of this type of practice and coming together. So I just really couldn't be more thankful. And I also want everyone to share their experience. So once we're done with the program on the hour at about, it would be on the hour mark wherever you are. So for me, that's 12 p.m. CT. Please, if you are willing, share your experience and we'll put it in a recording. And we'll then be able to share that testimonial of the Feast for the Soul with others so that we can continue to spread this light to more and more people. So thank you everyone for participating in that in advance if you're open. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you, Ashley. It's so sweet. And you know, Ashley's often joined by her two beautiful sons, Travis and Luke, and they're what, 2 and 3?
1 and 2.
1 and 2.
Yeah, it's a journey.
There early on. She didn't know what she was getting herself into when she said yes to this. So thank you, Ashley. And if you want to go ahead, I think it's actually going to be at 11 a.m. Pacific that you're doing it, because we often hang out here. I mean, we could do it at 10:30 a.m. Pacific.
Got it. Okay.
So put that in the chat so people know what you're talking about. And thank you all for your appreciation and your investment, truly. And I'm reading the lines to this poem, How One Gives Birth to Oneself Slowly. And as a person who's been teaching meditation for 30 years, and my current occupation besides doing this is I teach meditation teachers. And I have a new program launching based on the success of meeting each other on Zoom and really connecting on Zoom. And that starts on Earth Day, which is one of the first days I personally woke up in 3rd grade to my relationship with this earth, which is the reason I do what I do. It's not just humans that I care about, it's every sentient being. And as a Zen Buddhist practitioner, every day I would
We lost you there, Sarah.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me? Yes? The dharmas are boundless. I vow to master them. The Buddha way is unsurpassable. I vow to attain it. And I vow to attain these impossible things. So I love that meditation we did yesterday and some of the meditations that are evoking impossible things that maybe we can expect a miracle, or maybe our vows to ourselves and to our enlightenment, they're not in vain, you know. And so that's what this means to me, is to imagine success even in the face of impossibility, whether it's peace on earth or the end of suffering for all living beings, whatever it may be. So thank you for listening to us. We're going to move into a meditation. I am going to put a link in the chat in a few minutes to my program, which starts on Earth Day, to train teachers and those who just simply want to deepen their practice with the Awaken and Become programs. So the way the program will work today is that we're going to share with you a poem. We've each selected one. And then the poem will be followed by 5 minutes of meditation. And so we're going to invite you to have 15 minutes of meditation and 3 poems. And so settle in and get comfortable as we're going to begin with a poem with Sue Cooper.
Thank you, Sarah. So shall we settle in? And let's find a place of comfort. And I'm going to read a poem, but I think because we've shared such a lot of information, it would be really good to just connect with the breath, to bring ourselves into this present moment in a little more coherence. So let's just take a long, slow breath in, expanding the belly, and then a longer, slower breath out in your own time. We've been doing this for so many days. Find your own place of comfort, focusing on the breath. Do this for a few rounds. So either stay with your eyes closed or open them, however feels for you. And I'd love to share this poem. And then we're going to move into 5 minutes of silence. If you want to evoke your own mantra, or you want to simply use the I am mantra, whatever feels right for you. This is your own personal practice within this collective, compassionate community. So the poem I'm going to read is written by a local lady in Nottingham, England, called Nina Dorban. And she wrote this in 2012, December 2012, and it's called Your Coming Changes Everything. This is for each of us individually and as a collective. Come in from the cold, weary traveller. Feel the warmth here of a humane kind. We celebrate your arrival. Your genius has been eagerly anticipated as we need your unique destiny. But you have known this, dear another. Have you not been haunted all your years by the dreams of a greater mutuality? A place of love and sharing with no ego. A place where all is divine by design. Not perfect, but learning together in joy. Have you spent many of your days in despair at the state of lonesome human lives, cast adrift from their fellows, at distance from their purpose? The state of disconnection, where the struggle for mere survival becomes paramount, yet meaningless and lacking in any true nourishment, where the going on is fraught with abuse every day in large and small ways. The dog, the girl, the occupation, the nation, the war, inside and out, relentless. Rest now, dear friend. Put that heavy bag of sorrow down, for you are amongst family here, the Joy family. We are your true kin, and you are brother. Let us hug and rejoice your homecoming. Sit a while, my friend, feel the stillness. Peace lives here. Let the gentleness melt all fears. Let the kindness warm your heart. And let love be your way now. As you have found yourself, you have found us. We love you. Where in the sharing of what you love, we shall magnify your genius by placing it in the fertile ground of our deep value. The consummation of your part with us seeds a new tomorrow. Your coming here will change everything. So for the next 5 minutes, I invite you to be in silence, and then we move into Suzi.
And maintaining your stillness and silence, connecting with your heart. As I read to you the words of Marianne Williamson, taken from her book, A Return to Love, Reflections on Principles from A Course in Miracles. Keeping your eyes softly closed now, breathing naturally. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine, as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. And continue to rest in your own awareness now. We're watching the time. So continuing with whatever practice feels good for you for the next 5 minutes.
This poem is called Fire in My Heart by Ellen Grace O'Brien, an American spiritual teacher. Some days I sit near your fire, feeding it the kindling of desire. Live in the way the Buddha said, and the light will grow in you. Sorrow and joy come in, sit down together as friends. Everything that is needed is appearing. Other days I forget about the light and set out alone in the dark, ambitious, prodigal with damp wood, determined to start my own fire. When the invitation to the heavenly feast arrives from the universe, I politely decline. I've prepared a feast for you. Will you come? No, I am too busy with matters of life and death. I insist on my own way, saying no to love until no becomes sand in my mouth. Why all this suffering, I ask? Come, sit by the fire. Forget about life and death, being and doing, coming and going. Soon the sitar will begin. Its notes will make you weep for everything lost and gained, for the extravagant mercy of the One. Let's invite the meditation for 5 more minutes. So keeping your eyes closed. It's important to come out of meditation slowly. Before you open your eyes, get a sense of all the people and beings that are benefiting from your practice. Even imagining that peace is possible and the end of suffering is possible for all beings everywhere. And I invite you to put your hands together and recognize the divinity within yourself, the beauty within yourself, the love that resides in you as you. And in the spirit of namaste or gasho, bowing to those of us that are practicing with you, you might open your eyes and see all the beautiful beings on your screen, or just know they're there in your heart, even if you're listening to this as a recording. So thank you for practicing with us today. We posted many of the poems here in the chat for you, and you can always go back and look at this. We have something else in store for you. Let me see if I can bring it up. Let's see. Can you see that? Yeah. So,
Do you want to stop the recording?
oh yes, maybe we'll stop our recording before we play this recording.